Hi, I'm Heather Smith and welcome to Cloud Stories, a podcast exploring the accounting and business apps community. Today, I'm bringing you an interview as part of a series of interviews I conducted at the Accountants BootCamp, which was held in late 23. I had the unique and rare opportunity to interview a few award-winning UK accountants who had travelled to Australia to attend the event. The original Accountants BootCamp was held in 1990s at Sanctuary Cove on the Gold Coast, and this reboot was an opportunity to bring back many of the speakers and attendees from the original event, including the legend of the industry, Paul Dunn. Along with the CEO of Clarity, Ainsley Damery, they delivered a 3-day workshop on how to deliver repeatable, scalable services that are profitable for the firm, valuable for the client, and at a price they can afford to pay. Many of the attendees use the Clarity software platform to assist them in delivering these services. And look, what really astonished me was many of the businesses were leading edge, cutting edge, award-winning businesses looking to push themselves out to that next level. So that was really exciting. I also wanted to let you know that Ainsley Damery did join me on the Cloud Stories podcast back in May 2021. The episode was called How to Double Your Client's Profit in 5 Easy Steps. So if you do enjoy this one, go back and look for that episode and listen to that as well. Plus, wait for the next 3 episodes that are going to come out. So before I pass over to the interview, can I encourage you, if you're interested in staying up to date with the latest trends and developments in the accounting app space, I encourage you to join the Xero Mastermind Facebook group, subscribe to the Accountants app newsletter, and to the Cloud Stories podcast. Also, connect with me, Heather Smith, on LinkedIn. For today's episode, I'm joined by Gareth Burton, the founder of 2 businesses. The first one is Assure UK, which niches in the UK pension market, where they are specialist pension auditors and provide assurance reports for independent trustees, master trusts, pension scheme administrators and other service organisations. While working in this field, he recognised these professional practices were not being served appropriately by their accountants, and he drilled down into offering a double-niched service via his second business, Progress Accountants, accountants for forward-thinking professional practices with more than 3 employees. So if you're outside of the UK, you're probably unfamiliar with the UK pension market and the service offerings that he's offering. But I think fundamentally this interview will be of interest because of the business strategies that he has employed, starting one business and then starting another business by seeing an opening or a need in the market for it. And also there's some other interesting strategies. I won't let you know yet, but jump in and listen, that he employs that really drives him and his business. So yes, you might not be aware of UK pension market, but I do think that you'll gain a lot from this interview. And so for all of these interviews, we're walking around the beautiful grounds of Sanctuary Cove. So there's a little bit of ambient background noise, which I hope adds to the experience. Hello, Gareth. Welcome to the Cloud Stories podcast. I'm so excited to have you here.
Thanks, Heather. I'm excited to be here too, so thank you for that.
I'd like you to share with our listeners who you are and where you're from.
So my name's Gareth Burton. I'm from the UK, and I've got a specialist audit firm called Assure UK and a general online accountant called Progress Accountants.
So it's quite exciting that you have 2 separate businesses.
Yes. One complements the other.
Ah, does it? So whereabouts are they based?
So they are based in, one's based in London and the other one's based in Banbury.
Oh, okay. And you travel between both of them?
One's completely virtual, and the one is, the main head office is in Banbury, where most of my team sit.
Oh, okay. I went to work one day in Banbury to do a stock count. A stock count for sausage rolls.
Oh, well. It's normally people come to Banbury to see Banbury Cross. That's what we're famous for.
There you go. Yeah. Being the good accountant, it was one of my very rare inventory counts that I did. So, what made you decide to start up two businesses?
Okay, so I ran a business for 10 years and I wanted to improve it by 10 times.
Oh.
So I was in partnership with somebody, and we decided that it wasn't right for us both. So when I set the new business up, I decided to keep my momentum. I was going to make 101% improvements.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then as a result of creating Assure UK, after about 3 years, I've been looking for an accountant that was more proactive and more advisory. But I didn't find anybody. So I decided to create my own firm that would help me and others go through the growth journey and provide them with the management information they needed to grow in a safe and secure fashion.
In a sustainable fashion.
A sustainable fashion,
yeah. Let's go back to the 101% improvements.
Yes.
Was that how many days? Was it over 100 days?
100 days.
Wow. Tell me about that.
So we moved our server to the cloud. So we moved...
That was more than one day.
Yeah, that took a few days. So we moved from a in-house server to Amazon Workspaces. That was one of them. We moved to Xero at that point as well. We were using a system with a different accountant, but we moved to Xero. We changed our expenses from being manual to using Expensify. We implemented Receipt Bank.
Which is now Dext. But
which is now Dext, yeah. We just kept looking for how can we make things quicker, faster, smoother.
I love that. You have a book there, Gareth. You have a TED Talk, but it might be 100 minutes long. I love that you said that kind of everyone talks about the 1%, but saying 100 1%ers in 100 days, that's massive.
Every day I look for 1% improvements.
Yeah.
So whether it's an improvement to your desk, whether it's better lighting for your desk, whether it's, with your standing desk, having a squidgy mat underneath your feet, so it makes it more comfortable.
Mat.
Yeah. Small one. I've just travelled to Australia. Last time I travelled, I noticed I was dehydrated. So I looked at a number of YouTube videos and people were recommending the collapsible water
bottles.
Bottles, yeah. So you would see me with my collapsible water bottle with me to stay hydrated.
Absolutely. And you can actually take tablets like Hydrolyte, we call them here in Australia, to help you stay hydrated. And simple things like maintaining water maintains your brain function, which is so important for what we do. So,
exactly.
So that's really, really exciting. If we can go to that business, you've told us that you implemented Dext, Xero, you went to the cloud. What other technology did you use in that business? For
HR we use BreatheHR because originally we were paper-based performance management. We moved to BreatheHR. Audit systems obviously now based in the cloud. One of the latest changes we're making is we're moving from CCH Pro Audit to MyWorkPapers. We're implementing a new audit system. What are the changes? We've our most recent change we've made is we've now done 10 years with Amazon Workspaces, and we've been that impressed with Microsoft that we're moving to a Microsoft-based work centre, which, when you're an Apple user like me, was quite a dark day, I have to say.
Wow, that's a big change.
It was a massive change, but if it makes things quicker, faster, smoother, better integration, then anything that makes the journey easier for clients. We move clients to for signing their accounts electronically. So e-signatures. Portals are obviously very important.
The Microsoft change is an interesting one because I kind of I'm a much smaller business than you, and I do a lot of training, so I sit with both of them.
Right.
And I know that that's fundamentally wrong,
Yeah.
but I need to understand what issues the client's going through and test the environment into what they're going through because they do work differently.
Yeah.
And, but Microsoft, especially during COVID, and Teams, just seemed to come into its own, didn't it? So many people seem to just take over and start using it. So that was interesting.
I think during COVID we all changed.
Yeah.
I think a few days before COVID happened, the Teams logo seemed to appear on our desktops. I think it must have been rolled out by Microsoft by pure luck.
We're not starting conspiracy theories.
And suddenly we were, in the past we've done all our calls using a conference calling facility called Powwow Now.
Powwow Now.
Powwow Now, yes. And I have to say my team loved it. I was trying to say, look, perhaps we should move.
Yeah.
Within 3-4 months, I would say that we were fully on Teams. We were using it. It was nice to see people's faces when you couldn't go in the office and see them.
Yeah.
So it gave us a sense of community. It was a way of staying in touch when you couldn't be in touch.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Now let's talk about your other firm, which was the advisory firm that you needed to help you.
Yeah.
What does that look like today?
So Progress Accountants is very small.
Yeah.
This is my little pet project. One we're still developing. It's based on Xero. It's paperless as we can get it. But we have changed the focus slightly in that I realise that not everybody wants to be completely paperless.
Yeah.
So it's all based on customer service. There's some clients who even pick their paperwork up from their office or their home to make the experience easier.
And to that, there are going to be firms out there that can actually take advantage of niching and offering that service like you are, because depending if that's the client that you're comfortable working with, then that's completely fine. And realistically, some very wealthy clients don't want to go digital.
And that's true. The one benefit I've had from day one with my original firm is that it is a completely niche practice. And actually one of my goals for last year was to find a new niche. And it actually ended up that we found a niche within a niche. We found a new range of clients that used our expertise, pension assurance. And they needed help done as well. And once you start looking within your niche, you will find other opportunities and perhaps a group of clients that will pay even more than the original group. Yes,
absolutely. Do you have a niche that counterbalances that niche in case anything happens in that particular area? I can't imagine something, but maybe a massive legislation change that comes out of the blue, which is not going to happen, but do you have that? Or
I think on our pension side we have an assurance product, which...
What's assurance?
Assurance looks at internal controls, really.
Oh, okay.
Where clients want... So it's non-financial, not based on numbers, but they're interested in a business's internal controls. So if you've got a data centre and you're worried that, well, what happens if the power goes out?
Oh, okay.
Do they have uninterruptible power supply?
Yeah. Are you doing technology assurance?
Yes.
Okay, so is it what I would call app advisory? You're going and looking at the workflows and the processes? No,
we do look at their workflows and processes, but these tend to be larger companies.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
We do help clients implement technology. I'm obviously technically quite strong. So, one of our clients who's quite old-fashioned, we did him an e-commerce website. We helped him implement e-commerce so people could order online. Moved him to Xero, got him to an online payment solution.
Oh, he must be happy.
Surprisingly, when we first recommended it, he went, oh, not really. But now he's seeing the results.
Yeah.
Then lockdown happened.
Yeah.
He's got a business that's...
He can be anywhere.
It can be anywhere, but it's also a hobby for many people.
Yeah.
And what he found with lockdown, is that the whole world suddenly became his customer.
Yeah.
And with exchange rates going in the UK's favour,
Yeah.
If you're exporting, that's good for customers and good for him as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So you have made the massive journey out to Australia.
Yes.
And you're here at the Accountants BootCamp, or the Reboot Camp.
Yeah.
And we're on day 2, end of day 2.
Yep.
What have you got out of the attending so far? Just maybe one thing that you've got out of it.
I think the transition in what you do from being a commodity to more of a service and focusing on relationships, not a service. I think that's the key bit that I've spotted, and packaging your offering so it's so that it meets the specific needs of your target audience. So specifically, you may not be doing as many clients as perhaps we serve now, but the fewer clients we serve, we will provide a greater level of service to them. And we've already got some excellent client service feedback. We do monitor that very closely. But this will take it to the next level. And one of the things they brought up lots of case studies today. One of them was like, how would Disney run an accounting practice? Yes, that was excellent.
And just thinking about that, and it just does mean as accountants, visiting Disneyland could potentially be a tax-deductible trip, couldn't it? Not that we're giving tax advice. But what are the good places out there? And there was mention of a florist in England, and also the Karuna.
Yes.
I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but the Karuna shoes from Singapore. And replicating that. And I think looking outside our industry and then reflecting it back and how we can do that. So it's really interesting that, because you sounds like you got the tech happening, you got the clients happening, and now thinking about the customer service bit.
We, from a customer service bit, we do client surveys, experience builders to make sure that we understand what clients like, what they don't like, and how we can improve our service to them. Because sometimes, there's 2 bits to this. One, you need to keep doing what clients already like. And sometimes it can just be a niggle. That can be easily sorted, but it's a big frustration for your client. So you need to make sure they're heard. We also employ an independent service provider, client reviewer. And they interview a selection of our clients and draw that feedback together to say, actually, on a whole, this is what they like, this is what they don't like. These are things that you need to be writing about over the next 12 months. So that we give them content that they want, and not just hit them with content that they don't want, that's not valuable to them.
It sounds like you're already doing an awful lot of that, doesn't it?
We're in a good place. And I think from the customer experience point you mentioned earlier, we will be implementing that as well.
It sounds like, look, it's been really astonished me that so many cutting edge leading firms have actually come here, award-winning firms, and said, hey, how can we push this further? And bouncing off each other, bouncing off the presenters, sharing ideas. It's just been a very collegial and community-orientated event that people are all learning from.
It's been absolutely amazing. I'm always amazed how helpful other accountants are. And, the accountants that are here and other events that I attend in the UK, I'm always surprised how far they'll go to improve what they're doing.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining me on the Cloud Stories podcast. Is there anything that you'd like to leave our listeners with? Just look for small gains. Don't try and change the world overnight. Just make one small change each day or each week, whatever you're comfortable with. It will make a massive difference. Absolutely. Thanks, Heather. Much appreciated. How can people get in contact with you? So my name's Gareth Burton. My email address is gareth.burton@assureuk.co.uk. Excellent. Thank you so much for being on the Cloud Stories podcast, Gareth. Thanks, Heather. Have a great evening. All the best, mate. Awesome. I hope you liked listening to the interview with Gareth Burton. The next 3 interviews from the Accountants BootCamp shall be Paul Miller, Graham Tennick and Paul Dunn, all remarkable in their own way. Also, you can go back and listen to the interview I did with Ainsley Damery back in May 21. The episode was called How to Double Your Client Profits in 5 Easy Steps. Now, if you're eager to delve deeper into the Xero ecosystem and partake in advanced conversations, I do recommend you join the Xero Mastermind group on Facebook. This amazing community, it's an amazing community where you can connect with like-minded individuals and gain valuable insights on how to optimize accounting apps. Additionally, if you want to stay up to date with the latest trends and developments in the accounting app space, be sure to subscribe to the Accounting Apps newsletter. It provides a comprehensive overview of the ecosystem and a must-read for anyone interested in this rapidly evolving field. You can find that at heathersmithau.com. Okay? Please connect with me on LinkedIn and also take the opportunity to subscribe to the Cloud Stories podcast. This is Heather Smith, signing off until next time.